here is games that surprised me part 6, and this is the official part 6, right? I made a mistake like in the previous video where I called it part 6, but that one was part 5. Video game surprises are games that I didn't know I was going to enjoy, and this is part 6. This one is going to be quicker than the last one. The first one actually is going to be Dead to Rights Reckoning. Dead to Rights Reckoning, which is a relatively a very short game, but it is very enjoyable. It's basically just like Max Payne. It's like Stranglehold. It does have that action edge to it and those typical Hollywood shootout moments. You can also use like a husky dog to take down enemies for you, right? There's like a certain bullet time meter, and there's even bosses. But I didn't know what this game was about, and because I think it's also like for the PS3, but this one definitely surprised me. I'm glad I played it. Right beside it is going to be Green Lantern, A Rise of the Manhunters. Growing up, I heard this game was horrible, right? But I actually played it for myself. I picked it up like probably 5 months ago, and it is so enjoyable. It's basically like an action style game, like an action hack and slash game. And with Green Lantern, he has different constructs. He's able to use willpower to create objects from his through the ring, right? But I like the gameplay and the style of gameplay, the enemies, right? And this is obviously based on that 2011 Green Lantern movie, so it's gonna have that stigma attached to it. But overall, though, right, it is a pretty solid action game, and I was not expecting to enjoy it, right? But I'm glad I did pick it up. Another one down here, though, this is gonna be Wipeout Pure. Wipeout Pure, which you might have saw in a video I did like a month ago. Wipeout Pure, it's like an arcade racing style game. Wipeout Pure, when I first played it, I hated the controls. Playing it on the PSP, trying to steer around these race tracks were kind of difficult. But once I got into it, I got really fun and very fast, very suspenseful, and I like the arcadey tone to the game. And it is a very common PSP game, right? Very easy, to find and pick up. Wipeout Pure. Another one is Ben 10 Protector of Earth. This is growing up. I didn't know much about Ben 10, right? Ben 10 is basically, what was it? Like a cartoon, right? A cartoon. I believe it was Nickelodeon that had it. But it's basically like an action style game. For a similar thing, with a Green Lantern, right? But it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more of like a platformer in some ways, but you fight a lot of enemies. The reason why it was this one was a surprise to me, right? Because it is a very solid PSP game, and I was not expecting to enjoy this game at all, like in the PSP. One up here is Hellboy: Signs of Evil. Hellboy: Signs of Evil. I didn't know what to think about this game. I didn't know I was gonna enjoy it. But Signs of Evil, right? It's basically kind of like it's the same genre as the Green Lantern game. Like it's like a hack and slash style game. If there's a closer comparison for the game, it plays similar to Castlevania: Lord of the Shadows, right? It plays very similar to that style of game. So you gotta fight all enemies like in the area for the barrier to go away. There's that. Hellboy: The Signs of Evil. You get various different types of bullets, different types of melee attacks, heavy attacks. You go to there's different points in timeline, right? Like in the Hellboy time, right? And different parts of the world. But this one definitely, and I only paid $5 for it. And I see this one going for somewhere around $30. A big one in this one is going to be Mortal Kombat 11. Mortal Kombat 11, I'm not a fan of fighting games. I don't really like fighting games that much. I'm not very good at them. But MK11, this one I picked up probably 5 years ago. And once I started playing it, it's like, wow, I love the animations. Visually, it is amazing. The DLC characters, right? They added in like a Terminator. There's Rambo. Did this one up? No, I didn't have Ermac, but they brought back other characters, right? Baraka, for example, and they added new characters like Geras. Mortal Kombat 11. I like the roster a lot, the customization. But this one I was not expecting to like at all. But once I played it, played the story mode, the arcade mode, the online mode, it got so fun. Alan Wake, one for the Xbox 360. I did pick this up sometime last year. literally for $5. Now, I didn't know anything about Alan Wake, right? Nothing about it except that it was like this weird psychological kind of thriller, and it's like a kind of like a story-based game, interactable game. There's like shadows that attack you, but it gets very it is a very immersive game. I like the voice acting in it. I like the gameplay, and the gameplay too. Is pretty solid. But I was not expecting to enjoy Alan Wake at all. But it really got me immersed in the story. And the last one's gonna be Just Cause 2. Probably 12 years ago. Before I picked up Just Cause 2, I was like saying, "What is this game? What is it about?" I didn't know what it was about at all. But when I actually played it, right, Just Cause is like a big wide open world, huge open world. 400 square miles in this game, and the grappling hook. I talked about it before. The grappling hook. You can go in any vehicle. There's challenges. There's, it's very similar to the Mercenaries games from a Pandemic Studios EA. It is very similar to that. But Just Cause, it is very. Just Cause, there's tons of explosions. There's lots of fast driving. You can go in planes, helicopters, jets. Once I played this, I said, wow, this one definitely. It really is super enjoyable to play. So yeah, that's part 6. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.